So good afternoon, everyone. This A&E Kitchen Combos. We're not in the kitchen today. We're actually in Memphis, Tennessee, at the Beale Street Jazz and Blues Festival, celebrating our anniversary weekend.
Yes, it's our fourth year wedding anniversary. So every year, Eric and I try and do something special for our anniversary, and we've taken it where we like to visit a different city in the United States. So this year, we decided to do Memphis, Tennessee. So we're going to enjoy the Beale Street Jazz and Blues Festival. Gonna go see the Civil Rights Museum and just hang out and celebrate 4 years of marriage, 4 years of happily, blissfully, amazing marriage that we have. And I just wanted to really say that we don't just celebrate on our anniversary. We celebrate almost every day.
Yeah.
We
yeah.
try to make sure we tell each other how much we love each other, how much we honor each other, how much we respect each other, and we really enjoy each other's company.
Yeah, one of the seven areas that we talk about in this particular subject is love. I mean, there are many different definitions of love and many different ways to show how you love a person. For us, it's spending time together.
Yep.
So everybody has their definition of love and what their mate or spouse enjoy. We happen to enjoy each other. I can't get enough of spending time with my wife. Sometimes she needs her alone time.
Yes.
She gets her TV fixed in.
Yes.
But if it was up to me, I would be with her. This may sound weird, but 24/7 because we like hanging out. We enjoy each other's company. And again, love for us is being together, spending time together. Even when we're at work, we're texting each other. We're talking on the phone a lot. That may sound corny, but hey, that's what we do.
Yes. Yes.
We check in with each other. So love for us is time, spending time together, sharing our thoughts, sharing our day, and doing the things that we enjoy most is just really hanging out.
Yeah.
So whatever works for you, April, you always talk about that.
Yeah, I mean, I like to say, don't go by what any other couple is doing. Don't think that, oh, my relationship isn't right because we're not doing what Tom and Janice are doing. You know what I mean? It's whatever works for you and your significant other.
Yeah.
Do you. Don't do anybody else. Do you and what makes you guys happy. And that's the bottom line is you can't live your relationship through anybody else. You have to live it through your four eyes and nobody else's. Right?
And people always going to have an opinion about love and things that you do together, but like whatever works for you, our thing is like it works for us that we spend time together.
Right.
For you, it may be that you spend less time together. For you, I know someone who's, a couple, they spend half the year together, half the year apart. It works for them. Who's judging their relationship? Nobody, really.
Right.
If it works for them, it works for them. So love is about making sure it works for you as a couple or as an individual seeing someone, making sure that it works for you. There's no right or wrong way to do it. You show the person how much you love them by doing the things that works for you too.
Yep.
Does that make sense?
That makes sense, baby. I love you.
Now, this is the other thing. Don't ever tell a person you love them when you don't.
Yes.
Don't do that.
Yes.
That's unfair.
It's false information.
Right. So the question is, who goes first?
It doesn't matter. I told Eric I loved him after about 2 weeks.
Yes.
Because I did.
2 weeks.
I loved him, and I knew I loved him.
And what I used to do?
Used to laugh at me. He would literally laugh just like that, like crack up. And I wasn't offended because it was my true feeling. I didn't expect him to feel the same way. I was okay with him not feeling the same way, and I was okay with me expressing to him how I felt about him. And eventually he felt the same way, but I was okay with taking his time. I didn't pressure him to say, you need to tell me you love me. No, because I wanted him to be genuine and really mean it when he said it. And when he said it, I knew he meant it.
Yeah, I promised that I'm not going to tell you I love you if I don't. And when I tell you I love you, I'm going to mean it. And so I think it's unfair to tell someone you love them when you really don't. If you're honest with them and say, listen, if they tell you they love you first, like I told April, hey, listen, I have strong feelings for you, but I'm not at that place, and
Right.
I think it would be hurtful and be dishonest for me to say something that I'm not feeling.
Right.
So one of the keys to communication in a relationship is really being honest, and that's the thing that she said made her fall in love with me, because I was
Brutally honest, totally honest.
I didn't know any better. I was coming out of a 25-year relationship and marriage. My ex-wife, we were together for 25 years. I thought that's what you do. You just tell the person you're interested. I was spilling all the beans, y'all.
But it was awesome. It was so refreshing because
I didn't know how to date. I hadn't been on a date in 25 years.
But you made it an amazing experience for me to actually have someone that was completely honest with me and upfront about everything. I never had to question anything about what was going on with you. You always made me a part of everything, even if it was just little things, that I paid attention to because, again, I've had to have the experience. I've been married twice before meeting Eric, and I knew what I wanted, and I wasn't willing to settle for anything less. And the main thing that I wanted was honesty.
Yeah, how did you know you was in love with me? And how is it possible to fall in love? When did you tell me you was in love with me? 3 weeks?
2 or 3 weeks. I don't know.
How did you know you was in love with me?
Because the reason why I knew is because you were so honest about everything. You were so honest. And again, that was so refreshing, and it felt so comfortable, and it felt like, wow, everything happened the way it was supposed to happen. My life did a complete 360 before I met Eric. I was already happy with myself before I met Eric. I had been through some things, and I finally had gotten out of those situations, and I had made a really good life for myself first. My kids, by then, they were adults, but still, my life had taken a turn for the best. And even after my second divorce, people would be like, oh, I know you'll never get married again. I know you could never do that again.
Marriage.
And I would tell them, I never gave up on love. I'm never giving up on love. I like being in love. I like being married. But this time I wanted to be married to the right person. The other two marriages, they just weren't right for me. They weren't bad people, but they weren't right for me. And Eric was completely right for me from the beginning. I had that connection with him the first night we met. He didn't know it, but I knew it. I was fine with that.
I didn't know anything.
I was fine with that, and I was okay with whatever happened. We were taking it day by day, and it day by day ended up, to this.
Well, for me, how do you know when you're in love? That's a good question. I think everybody individually finds when they know they're in love. Mm-hmm. But I knew at the time that I wasn't going to tell her I love her because I didn't have that at that time. Mm-hmm. So it was something that when I was ready to tell her is because I was in love with her, and I had got to know her. I had got to know her background. I got to know where she come from. I met her friends. Her friends were interviewing me, and I was interviewing them. We went to California where April grew up. She took me around where she lived and where she grew up. I got to see some of the core things that helped shape her. And I took her to meet my parents. She got to see some of the core things that helped shape me. And so we talked every day, even when we weren't together. We talked on the phone. And the process for both of us, we were both going through a divorce at the time, so we were helping each other process that divorce. Mm-hmm. And I know some of you are here that may be viewing this and saying, well, wow, this is his second marriage, this is a third marriage. And for us, divorce doesn't have to be a death sentence.
It definitely doesn't. It can be a celebration.
It can. My experience with my ex-wife was 25 wonderful years. There was some rough times, some bad times, and there's some times that our relationship transitioned to we were more being friends and parents. And after 25 years of being with a person and you see the relationship is transitioning, you could choose to stay there and be angry and bitter and start arguing with each other and not like each other and start hating each other. Or you can say, you know what? The marriage is not working for us anymore. It's not that our parenting skills in our relationship, but the marriage is not working. Mm-hmm. So you have to be bold enough and have those tough, honest conversations about, is this working for us?
Right.
Are you happy? Am I happy?
Right.
Am I being fulfilled as a person? Are you being fulfilled as a person?
Right.
And if you're not, it doesn't have to be, divorce doesn't have to be an ending. It could be an ending of that marriage, but it doesn't have to be ending of the memories of what you've made and shared with that person. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and I also think that, you know, so many people think of divorce as it being such a bad thing, but those divorces that I've gone through and those relationships that I had with my previous husbands taught me so much. And I don't regret not 1 minute of it. I learned some valuable lessons from there. And that's another thing that you can take from a divorce. You learn about yourself. You learn things that you didn't know before, you know what I mean? And you learn what you can deal with, you learn what you can't deal with, you learn, you know, how strong you are or how, you know, sensitive you can be. And it's okay. It's definitely not a death sentence. And it's, you know, some people refer to it as a death, you know, and, you know, for some people it is hard. And I'm not saying that it's an easy thing to go through, because it can be very difficult.
It
really can be. But the bottom line is,
on anybody.
Right. But the bottom line, you have to know that you will get through it. And getting through it, you're going to be a stronger person. And that's something to be celebrated. That's something to have acknowledgement of. And just know that it is not the end of the world. So many great things can happen if you're going through that, and after you've gone through that, like this. Right.
So this is part one of a discussion of love that me and April are going to talk about. Of course, we're going to be having meals with other couples. We're going to be talking about love, but this is the first part of our experiences. You're going to get to know a little bit more about us, more about how we fell in love, more about how we process our love, and more about who we are as a couple, as an individual. So we're going to go out right now. I'm going to head out to the Civil Rights Museum, and we'll catch some of the Blues and Jazz Festival here in Memphis, and enjoy some of this great food down here in the South. So, till next time.
Mwah. Love you guys.
See you.